are recording. Okay. Hello. Hi. This is Stephen Fung of Moral Hazard. Today we're doing something different. Instead of yelling at the camera, or I guess it was a microphone for most of these times, instead of yelling at the microphone about politics and business news and doing commentary and stuff like that, today we're doing something different. I'm going to show you that I may or may not know how to do math, you know? Today, this is a Jane Street mock interview that they're going through, these two people. This is from Jane Street. They're a quantitative firm, hedge fund kind of thing. And I watched through like the first 4 minutes, and I was like, I think I could give a shot at this. This could be fun. So yeah, we're gonna go through a little bit of a quant interview, show that maybe I didn't just learn just coloring. I can do a little bit more than just coloring. We'll see though. We'll see. I haven't seen the solutions for anything like this, but I have watched through like the first few minutes. It was like 5 minutes of it. They just like went through the problem, and she's just asking a few questions. But we're gonna watch it from the beginning, and I'm gonna give like a little review and all that. And all right, whatever. I'm wasting time. Let's get into it. Start from the beginning.
You might be interested in seeing what a Jane Street interview is like. We grabbed one of our trading new hires, Andrea, and had Graham, a more experienced trader, ask her a problem that we used to ask in actual trading interviews.
Hi, I'm Graham.
And I'm Andrea. We're both traders here at Jane Street. Graham's been here for a couple years now, and I just started full-time this year.
We get a lot of questions about our trading interview process and what we look for in an interview. Our interviews can cover a lot of different things, but typically you would spend most of your interview time working together with your interviewer on a challenging, and hopefully also fun, quantitative problem. In this video, we're going to give you a sample of what that might look like, with me as the interviewer and Andrea as the interviewee. Thanks, Andrea.
Yep, of course. And by the way, this question really was new to me. I've never seen it before.
That's right. I asked Andrea a question that feels like the kind of question we might ask somewhere in an interview process, but of course, it's not a question we're actually using right now. At the end of the video, we'll recap a bit to discuss how it went and some things I was looking for.
I'm going to describe a casino-style game you might play. This is just a one-player game where you'll have various options, and I'm wondering what you would do to maximize your earnings from it.
Okay.
So, in this game, you have a 20-sided...
Sorry, I'm interrupting, but before we like get into this, I just want to say like, does Jane Street not have like a behavioral section like to screen these people? Because why is everyone so robotic? It's like it's very strange. They're they're all very they're all very robotic in their movements. As someone who I would like to go back to the golden age of these finance types being very charismatic, but that's just me. That's just me.
die. So a die with the numbers 1 to 20 on the faces. And at the start of the game, it's on the...
I'm just gonna do notes in Microsoft Paint, so we're getting like an idea of what's going on. So, all right, as you said before, we've got a 20-sided die. That's my die.
table, and the one face is facing upright. Now, you're going to have 100 rounds, and in each round, you have two options. You can either roll the die, replacing whatever it's currently showing with a new number, or you can take a number of dollars from the casino equal to the current face.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is like a maximize profitability function, and what we're going to do is we're just going to make like a simple decision, and in each round we're going to evaluate our choices, and we're going to decide do we roll or not, and that should be it, right? That should be it. So at a glance, I think we're doing something like EV, expected value. And that's kind of difficult to do with just like your bare hands using pen and paper, because we're doing like binomials distributions. But I think the most simple way of doing this is like, if I roll, what are the chances that I get something that is of value to me, versus what are the chances that I get something that is not of value, right? So I think it would be something like, while r is greater than 0, and we're going to keep evaluating after every roll, and basically we have like a decision in front of us, right? Which is if EV is greater than 0, then we're going to re-roll the die, right? If our expected value is greater than 0, we're going to our expected value of re-rolling the die is greater than 0, we're gonna roll the die. And then else we keep the money, right? There's only two options really. Else money, because we get an amount equal to the amount on the die, right? We get a dollar amount equal to the amount of the die. So money plus equals die, something like that. And then R minus minus. And this is just like pseudo code. This is I don't think this would work in any like language. I mean like Python. It's written like similar to Python, but I know R minus minus doesn't do anything in Python. I'm pretty sure. This says while. This is supposed to say while. While R. God, that is terrible. But yeah, so basically we're just there's gonna be some sort of EV function that's gonna go up here. EV equals blah 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 blah. And she's gonna ask a few questions. Let's just let her ask her questions.
And my question is, how would you play this game, and how much money do you think you'll make on average?
Okay, yeah. So there's two things we need to figure out. Is like how we're gonna do it, and like overall what's our expected value, right? So yeah, let's do a little interpret. She's just gonna ask a bunch of like questions, and then she's gonna do this like really BS solution that I disagree with. But let's just do a Python implementation. Well, I think we have to like solve it by hand first. I don't have a notebook. I don't have a notepad with me, so it's gonna be hard to like solve it like on paper with you guys. But basically, what I'm thinking is this. Let's just import our. Let's just do the Python implementation, and I'll go through it. Import NumPy, import random. I think we'll need both of these. Okay, and then die equals 1, starts at 1. R equals 100, round starts at 100. Money equals 0. And then let's just do a list of our decisions. Dlist equals that. While R is greater than 0. Shoot. While R is greater than 0. EV equals something. If EV is greater than 0, die equals rand range 1, 21, 1. So that'll just roll between 1 and 21, and that'll use our turn, and then it'll be else money plus equals die, and then R minus equals 1. And we should be like appending to our dlist like what the decision was. Dlist append, and this will be a roll, and we'll show like what our current number was, and then like what our money is. Ideally, our money would be 0 every time we roll, but this is just to like make sure like nothing's going wrong with our EV formula. And then we're gonna keep die money. That sounds good, right? EV. Okay, so what I'm thinking for the EV function right now, and I haven't really done that much thinking about it, is like our expected value is going to be like whatever incremental, like our chances of getting a number higher than what we currently have on the die, our chances of getting that, right? And then that expected number minus whatever number we currently have, because that's our like incremental profit times the amount of rounds we would have left, right? And I'm sure there's like a way to do it with binomials, but this is just a simple like expected value of profit, expected value of loss, and then you just subtract the two. And that seems janky, right? That does seem very janky, but I think that's the best we're gonna get, you know? Okay. EV equals 20 minus d, because that would be the numbers we have above, right? So like if you have a 15 and we want to roll again, so 20 minus 15, we have 5 numbers above we can get, divided by 20, so that's our chance of getting one of those 5 numbers. And then that would be, times die, not d. Our chance of getting that times d 20 minus d divided by 2. Oh my god, let's just change it to d instead of die. Times that, and then that's going to be our expected profit above. So our chance of getting a profit versus our chance of not making a profit. And I think this is going to be like a very rough calculator. I don't think this is going to be an exact perfect formula, but I think it's a good estimate compared to what she's about to do, because I have a feeling she's about to do some BS. Because I've only watched like the first 5 minutes, and based on the questions, it seemed like she was going in a really weird direction. So anyways, we got this times that, and then we're going to multiply that by r minus 1, because that'll be the amount of rounds we have left. And then we're going to subtract all of that by our expected loss, which would be d divided by 20, because we have a 15, we have a 75% chance of getting the same number or lower. So 75 times d divided by 2, and that would be like the average number we'd get. And then we're going to add on d, because that's our opportunity cost we were missing out on, just keeping that number. And that looks to be about right. Oh shoot. What is this? I put the parentheses in the wrong place. Okay. And let's just put these together. And I think we can simplify this down, right? Because these have this could be np dot square that number divided by 40. Then we can just get rid of multiplying this times r minus 1. And then this can be np dot square d divided by 40. And then we can get rid of this. And that should keep things a little bit simple. Is there a way to simplify this even further? Yeah. We can do minus that divided by 40 plus d. And in that way, we should be a little bit more simplified. b squared d is 20 minus d divided by 40. And this looks good. R minus 1. That sounds about right. If EV is greater than 0, and let's just run this and print dlist and see what we get. Oh, I put in die instead of d. Whoops. Something's wrong here. We keep rolling. Oh, Jesus Christ. I keep adding this number on. There we go. Okay. So it seems like something weird is happening here with the EV formula. That should be minus d. There we go. Okay, so it looks like we're keeping at 18. What else do we keep at? We're keeping at 12. Interesting. I feel like keeping it 12 wouldn't be the best decision. Hmm. Something's weird here. Let's undo the simplification. I think we messed it up in the simplification because this might, yeah. 40 minus that plus d. Because that doesn't sound right to me, you know? Like, it doesn't pass the smell test, you know? Oh, we still got the, yeah, D. Stop adding. Stop calling it D, we're calling it die. Or stop calling it die, we're calling it D. Print D list. Keeping it 17. That seems right. Keeping it, well, obviously we keep it 20. Keeping it 17. What are we rolling on? We're rolling on 1s, 3s. Rolling on 16. Does rolling on 16 sound right to you? It might be an issue with our estimation because really what we should be doing is some sort of distribution function. But let's put this in Desmos and see what like our optimum. Let's see what our chart looks like. So we're gonna do x or 20 minus x divided by 20 times 20 minus x divided by 2 times r minus 1. We're going to add a slider. Say r is equal to. And then we're going to have that equal to x divided by 20 times x divided by 2 oh shoot, what did I just do? X divided by 20 times x divided by 2 plus x. R is equal to 100. So our intersection is going to be here at 16 point. Okay, and if we, so 99, 90, is our intersection the same no matter what the R is? 16.75, 10. No, okay, it does change. And I wonder what that rate of change is, you know? That is something that's interesting to me. I do want to know what the rate of change is. Because look, if you have 10 rolls left, then you give up at 12. But let's say we had 99 rolls, we'd 17 we're keeping. Anything above 17 we're keeping. Anything above 16 we're not settling for. And then we're at 90, and then it's like, yeah, 17 still, and then we hit 50, and now we're giving up at 60 or 16, sorry. So it's approximately that like 17, you know. Once we hit the hundreds, let's say we had like 1,000, then on our 1,001th roll, we're not stopping until we get a 19 really. So I think this is the correct. I think this is a correct interpretation of the model, you know? And I'm pretty sure this is just like a vague estimation, but it does capture that idea that like as R is increasing, you know, you're going to accept, you know, only the higher numbers, you know, your acceptance range. And then at what number are we going to be like, no, I only want a 20, you know? So let's say, yeah, so like 10,000. If we had 10,000 rolls left, we're really only going for that 20. But if we have 1,000 rolls, we're getting for that 19, which I think is interesting, you know? Because it makes sense, right? It makes sense. You have a 10% chance of rolling a number that's 19 or 20. You have when you have that 19, you have a 1 in 20 chance of getting a number higher than 19. And really, at what point is that roll worth it, you know? Because you have a 5% chance of wasting your roll. Yeah, and I think that's the opportunity cost. Or am I doing my opportunity cost formula wrong? I think I might be. Let's just do, I think this is more correct. We're at 1,000, we're only accepting, yeah. Okay, maybe this is the correct formula. Maybe I was tweaking on the last one. And you know, there's a way to test this. Let's test it. Let's test which EV formula is correct. Let's do trials equals, we're doing 1,000 trials of this, while trials is less than 0, or is greater than 0. Do that. We're going to go through this. And then results equals that. Results dot append money and trials minus equals 1. And then print np.mean results. Okay, so 1,000 trials are doing this strategy. We're getting like 1760 on average. That's not bad at all, you know? Let's run it again. Yeah, 1750 is our range. But if we do times this, we're getting slightly higher numbers, it seems like. So I think that is the correct expected value formula. It's just your chance of having an opportunity cost. Because yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. Okay. I think that's correct. I think that is correct. At least it's a correct enough estimation. So, all right. Now that we have my interpretation of the problem, let's go through her solution.
How many rolls do I get? Is there any cap?
No, you have 100 rounds and you can take either option on each round, but
Okay.
there are no limitations to.
I see. And just to clarify, to roll again, I pay?
There's no pay. If you take the roll.
I just want to say, I have no idea what the hell she is thinking right now. Like, were you not paying attention during the entire instructions? Jesus Christ.
You use your turn up and you roll the die, but that's all that happens.
It gets worse.
Okay. then can I just keep rolling until I hit a 20 and then take my money and leave?
Uh,
Or
sorry.
am I missing something there?
No, that's okay. But when you take money, the game does not end. So if you take money, you still keep.
You can like see the wheels spinning in her head as she tries to decipher the English language. I'm sure she is the most brilliant person in the world. She works at Jane Street. She works at Jane Street. But like the lack of like I don't know like communication skill like it's trade-offs, right? She's brilliant in the field of mathematics, quantitative skills, but like what is going through her head right now? Like he just told you the instructions and you're asking like the strangest clarifying questions. I don't know. This is like when I did my first case study, like these are the kind of questions I was asking because I just wasn't like the words did not go through the word were in one ear and out the other, you know? Like it's so interesting.
Keep going until you've played 100 rounds.
Oh, wait, sorry, there's 100 rounds?
There's 100
And-
rounds, and on each round, you can re-roll the die or take money. And neither of those options ends the game. You can take money multiple times.
Oh, gotcha. And you just keep doing this for 100 rounds and whether.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Cool. And sorry, so when you take the money, do you re-roll after that?
No.
Or but it keeps going for 100
What
rounds?
is she talking about?
Wait, so do you pass like sorry, I just like to walk through this. Like,
Oh my god.
If I rolled it like 3 times and then I hit a like 17 or something and then took the money,
Yep.
what would happen after that for the other 97 rounds?
I'm just
You
gonna
have
skip through
96
because
rounds.
she
Okay,
really is like
the chances of rolling a 20, I would guess it would take me around 20 times to.
wrong. Binomial probability distribution function 0.95 to the power of 20 is going to be like 0.6. You have a 60% chance of rolling a 20 if you do 20 tries on a 20-sided die. And we can actually test that because it's 0.05 to roll a 20. So we can do 0.95 to the power of 20, meaning you have a 36% chance of never getting a 20 when you roll 20 times, meaning you have a 64% chance of rolling a 20 during those 20 tries. So I think like I don't know, she doesn't have that great of a grip on statistical concepts.
Achieve that. I'm wondering, like, so one strategy that I would consider is re-roll until you hit a 20, and then just take 20 for every round.
Yeah, you re-roll until you get a 20. You're gonna end up rolling like how many times, right? Because let's say like to get roll the amount of times it'll take to like have a 95% chance of getting a 20. That's 0.95 to the power of 1 over 20. Oh, sorry. No, it's gonna be a really it's gonna be a really really long time, you know, like because point because you want to see how many x's it'll take for 0.95 to the power of x equals 0.95, 95% chance of getting a 20. So that would be like natural log of 0.95 yeah, you want to have a 95% chance. That's tough. You're not gonna have that great of a time. Or to minimize it, sorry. So that'd be 0.05 or natural log of 0.05. Shoot, ln 0.05 divided by ln 0.95. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll 58 times to have a 95% chance of getting a 20. That's not a great strategy. because like you could say on average you're gonna get a 20 in like 29 rolls, and then by then you have like 71 rolls left, and 71 times 20 you're gonna get like 1400. So it's not that great of a strategy, all things considered. Yeah, I think my strategy will be a bit better, but let's see what else she's got.
after that.
Yep, I agree. That's a thing
yeah.
you could do.
Yep, so now I'm just balancing that strategy with rolling until I hit, like, say, anything greater than, like, 18 or...
Okay, so now what I think she's doing is I think she's just going to like brute force estimate like what number she really wants to stop at, which really isn't the strategy, right? Like you can't go in being like I'm going to roll until I get this number. You're going to be like I'm going to roll here. If I get this number, I'll stop. Next roll, if I get this number, I'll stop, because as you keep rolling, there's an opportunity cost, right? And that opportunity cost is it's going to affect your decision making after each roll, you know? But anyways,
or greater, and then keeping that for the rest of it.
sorry, it's not the opportunity cost. Like let's say you rolled the same number all these times, you kept rolling ones. Your opportunity cost does not change, but your return on investment, your expected profit off of each roll is going to decrease, and that's the problem, because at some point the two are going to converge, and there's going to be a point where you just have to keep that one, you know? Well, in theory, you will never keep the one. You will keep rolling until the very last roll, and then on that night, you have one roll left, and you have one turn left, and that's when you keep the one. But let's say you had a 10, and you can see like at some point the two are going to converge. You're going to say, it's really not worth it to keep rolling because I've just got to keep this 10 and keep going, That's how I would interpret the problem. And the way she's putting it, she could there's a chance that she never gets that 19 or 20, right? Let's see how many ln 0.10, and she wants if you're rolling for a 19 or 20, to have a 95% chance of rolling either 19 or 20, you're gonna have to roll 45 times. It's not that great. I mean, it's better than the 58 that you had before, but we're not looking for that kind of. That's not really not what we're looking for, or sorry, not a 45. It's going to be you have 28 rolls. You have to roll 28 times to have a 95% chance of getting that, which is it's not great, Anyways, let's let her keep talking.
And thinking about how those two compare. I'm just gonna like try out like the situation of like rolling a 20 versus rolling a 19 or 20.
Okay.
So I guess for 20, that would just mean that I roll like on average like a 10 for around like 20 rounds. So let's say that's like approximately $200, and then for another
What is she talking about?
80 rounds, you roll 20, so that'd be 1,600. So then that strategy, I would expect to get like 1,800 from.
Oh, sorry, just to
something.
clarify, on the rounds where you rolled the die, you didn't get any money.
Oh,
It's either
right,
roll
okay.
the die or take money.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. So in that case, then around 1,600 is what I'd expect to get, or
Yep.
just like 80 rounds, which I roll a 20.
But you're not rolling 10 times. You're not. If you go with the strategy saying, I want to roll until I get, 19 or 20, you're not rolling 10 times. You're going to end up rolling a lot more times than that. I mean, there's a chance you roll 10 times and less than 10 times, but that's not how it works. You're not guaranteed to get a 19 or 20 when you do that. So that's the problem. It's when you have these like it's a statistics question, kind of in a way, in a way. But you need to account for the fact that like you're not guaranteed that. That's the problem. That's the problem with the question. I don't think that she's really nailing it, but you know, I mean, maybe she's really great with like coding in Rust or something and using OCaml, but I think maybe the quantitative is evading her.
Then let's say I'm a little more lenient and then I will accept a 19 or 20, so then that would take me like 10 rounds to get there, and then I would have 90 rounds getting like, let's say, a 19.5. So then in that case, I would expect to get like 17.55, or let's just say like $17.50, approximately that. Okay, so then that strategy seems better than the previous one. I'm just gonna try like going down by like another 1 or 2 and see at what point I feel like I've maximized.
Yep, sounds very reasonable.
Okay, cool. So then with now 18, 19, or 20, then that's 3/20ths of a possibility. So
Yeah, so what she's gonna do here, I think, is just keep going down the line. I'm gonna skip ahead until she like if she sees like a different strategy, then we'll watch that. But this is not very entertaining.
like something like slightly better than if I accept 7 average, 5. So that looks like lower than before. I'm getting like in that case, I think I would go with the strategy of rolling until I hit a 18, 19, 20, and then keeping it from there.
Okay, so yeah, let's just go off my model and see like where that would become a problem, because at some point like the 18, 19, 20, it becomes unrealistic, right? So we have, let's say we just rolled once. We have 99. So on our first roll, yeah, we're going to stop for an 18, 19, 20. But, if we go 10 rolls and we don't get that, yeah, we're still stopping for an 18, 19, 20. But let's go. Went 18, or we went 20 rolls without getting it. We're going to stop 18, 19, 20. It's 60. Now we're stopping at 17, 19, 20. And, that's like, I'm being like a bit annoying with it, but there is a chance that you don't get it, right? And what happens if you don't get it those first 30 rolls? Is your strategy going to change, or is it going to stay the same? You know. Yeah. So it's at 50. And we have 20 rolls left. We're stopping at 16. But I understand her point. At 100, it becomes to like it stagnates the rate of change, on where you're stopping. But I mean, it's a very real chance that you don't get those rolls. She said she wants to go to 18, 19, 20. So that's like 0.85. So let's do that. Yeah, 0.85. Yeah, you're gonna have to roll 18 times, have a 95% chance of getting that 18, 19, 20, which makes sense. Like she does like there's like you could say like to a degree of statistical certainty, like you will get an 18, a 19, or a 20 in your first 18 rolls, or 19 rolls, but there's always that likelihood that it's not going to happen. Whatever, and that's just like I'm splitting hairs here because her estimation is ultimately correct, you know, but it's not very robust in my opinion. And of course, my formula might be wrong. My formula, as I said, is just like an estimate kind of thing. But you know, I think there should be a little bit more rigor to her methods here.
Yeah, no, that sounds really good. And just to clarify, something I think you did when you said, okay, so it's going to take me this many rolls to roll a 18, 19, or 20, and then from then on I'm going to get a 19. Where did that 19 come from?
Yeah, I was thinking that if it's an 18, 19, or 20, those seem equally likely, and thus I'm taking the average of the 3.
Yeah, okay, good. Nice. Okay, now let's move on to a slightly different version of this question, which is actually going to be more like you thought it was at the start.
Okay, got it.
Okay, there's
So now I'm going to change the question.
There's a different version
so
to this
when
question.
you take the money, you also take the die off the table. And so you have to roll it again before you can take the money.
Okay, so for this one, I think we can clear this, right? Let's just clear this out. I can't control this. Oh, I have to control Z everything? Jesus Christ. Okay. So we have a 20-sided die, right? And then So it's going to be y. Oh, so we still have d equals 1 and r equals 100, and we still have the while loop. And while r equals greater than 0. Imagine r is greater than 0 is there. And then we have some sort of EV function. And if EV is greater than 0, we're going to, if EV greater than 0, we're going to roll the die else else money, just do M for money. Money plus equals die, and then we have to roll again, and we have to remove a turn. So roll r minus 1, and then we have to remove r minus 1 again. Because we're forced to roll. We remove the die. So this is an interesting one, right? Because now we have to change our expected value function a bit. Every time we take the money, we're really burning 2 turns. And every time we roll again, we're only burning 1. So I think that really is just like a quick tweak to our current function. We'll just do jstreet2.py. So I think what we're going to do here is we're just going to, for our EV function, we're just going to adjust the r slightly. Or the r minus, it's r minus 2. Every time we take the money, it's going to be that. Because no, it's not going to be r minus 2. It's going to be r divided by 2, right? Because we only get... Because we have to roll every single time. So this actually changes our EV function completely. Because now we're not actually weighing like, oh, this is how much money I'm going to make if I just keep this forever. We're actually changing it. We're flipping it completely, which this is fun. This is very fun. Okay, so our EV function, I still think our opportunity cost is going to stay the same. But our expected profit is going to change because now, instead of calculating like, oh, this is going to be our profit across blah, 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 our expected profit is, across the next round if we roll something better, And this is a little bit tougher for me to envision, but I know for a fact we're going to have to change our expected profit. So let's get rid of that. So it's going to be 20 minus d. 20 minus d divided by 20. Yeah, that's still our chance of getting something higher, right? Chance of getting something higher. And then that's going to be times our expected value of something higher. So 20 minus d divided by 2. But we're not multiplying that across because it's different now. So let's think about it. I have 10 rolls remaining. I have a 10. My die is 10. Either I can take the 50% chance, burn 1 turn, and get a higher number and then take that, or I can roll, or I can take the money, roll again. So now things are a bit different, right? because we can't just keep that number, right? We're not like gunning for a higher number and then calculating that against what it would be if we just kept it for that round. So 20 minus d divided by 20 is 20 minus d divided by 2. Let's say we have 15. We have a 25% chance of getting a higher number. And then expected loss is going to be the opportunity cost. Opportunity cost is an opportunity lost. This seems wrong, you know, like I feel like I'm doing something wrong here on this formula. But anyways, let's just, if EV is greater than 0, we're going to roll again, else money plus d, and then we're going to roll the d again. Oh, shoot. Roll the d again. R minus equals 1. And let's run this and see what happens. We're getting 541, 541, 540. Okay, so we're averaging around 541. Is there a way we can optimize this? You know? Let's put this in the, let's go into Desmos and see what we're getting. So yeah, we're not doing that anymore. These intersect at 8. So at 8 we're going to take it. Does that seem right to you? It doesn't seem right to me. Is that my formula? 20 minus d over 2. So basically we're saying, like, if we get an 8, we're going to take it, and we're going to roll again. Which I think kind of makes sense. I'm like doing the mental gymnastics to get to that making sense. It doesn't really make sense to me. Because if I have an 8, my expected value of the next roll is going to be 10. So would I rather keep that? I think we need to take into account that the opportunity cost is going to involve us rolling again anyways. I don't know, this seems wrong. This seems like a bad estimate, but let's just see how she interprets it, and maybe we can learn a little something.
So this time the die goes away after you take the money, and you have to spend a turn rolling it before you can take money again.
Okay, I see.
So I'd like to know how you think this version of the question changes.
Okay, sounds good. So let's say if I have okay, and so my first inclination is I would be willing to accept a much lower number to take the money and then re-roll.
I agree.
Let's just say if I have a strategy that's like, I accept the top half of numbers, like 11 through 20. I'm just thinking through what that would look like. Okay, so in that case, half the time I would take money and half the time I would re-roll. Wait, sorry. Just to make sure I'm understanding this. So.
Shoot. Okay, let's just plug this in. 20 minus 9, 11 squared is 121 divided by 40. 121 divided by 40 is approximately, what, 30? Let's say 30. And then 9 divided by 20 is that times 9 is... No, that doesn't sound right, you know? Like 20 minus 9, 11 squared divided by 40. It's 3.02. Oh, 3.025, yeah. And then 9 divided by 20. Yeah, it is right. Wait, no, because, no. Because if it's 9, then this is less than that. Our profit's less than that. Something's up here. Because we want it, what we should be doing is accepting when profit is above loss. But why is our profit only greater than our loss when the... Oh, we re-roll when our profit's greater than the loss. Okay, yeah. So anything less than 8 and we re-roll, but anything 9 is okay, and we keep. Really? Does that actually make sense across the rolls? Does that actually make sense? Let's break this down conceptually, right? Our chance of getting a number higher than 9 is, or let's say 8. Or yeah, let's say 9. Our chance of getting a number higher than 9 is 11 out of 20. That's 55%. We have a 55% chance of getting something with an EV of profits of 6. Profit 5.5. So 55, 505, so that's like 3. And then our chance of loss, or our opportunity cost, is just that 9 over 20 times 9. Does that make sense? We have a 9% chance of, or we have a 45% chance of wasting our time. We can, I guess that does make sense. You know? Basically, you're just saying, like, wait, okay, no, that does make sense, I think. In my opinion, that makes a little bit of sense.
Every time I can take the money.
Only if
Or...
only if the die is on the table. Like, if you once you've taken money, you're gonna have to roll the die again before.
Sorry, bathroom break. Okay, and we're back recording. Did my bathroom break, got my water over here. Let's go back to the video.
Or you can take money again. So.
Okay. So what's if it's 100 rounds? Okay.
Take money again. Only if the die is on the table. Like, if you once you've taken money, you're gonna have to roll the die again before you can take money again. So.
Okay. So if it's 100 rounds, what's preventing me from just taking the money every time? Because positive money is better than 0 money. I think I'm still misunderstanding something.
Oh, sorry. So once you take the money once, the die goes away, and then you have to roll it before you have the option of taking money again. So, and that.
Okay, let's map it out. Our expected value, we're gonna roll on average 10 every single round. This is 50 times 10, 500. Like, that's if we roll and take every single time. We're gonna average 500. On our simulation, we're averaging above 500. So this is an optimal solution, right? Like, but I feel like there's some way to do it better, you know? Anyways.
Uses up a round. So a thing you could do is you could roll the die and take money, and roll the die and take money, and that's used up 4 of our turns.
Oh, I see. Okay. Versus another strategy would be to like roll. Oh, I like that, and then take the money and then roll. I see. Okay,
yes,
that makes a lot of sense now. Thanks.
No, sorry, this is a bit confusing.
Yeah, all good. So yeah, let's say I have a strategy that's like take the top half of numbers. So I guess the way that I would imagine this playing out would be like the average sequence is I roll it, I am not half, it is something like maybe less than 10 or below, I roll it again, oh, now it's 11 to 20, so then I use up like 2 rolls and I get something that's like, I use up 3 turns, roll, take money, like that sequence, and then I would get 15.5
Okay.
payout from that.
The
Versus like
15.5 being the average of
average
the
of
roll you
11
accept.
through 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Versus I guess like the baseline strategy of just like roll, take whatever it is, roll, take whatever it is. That uses up like I guess I could play that sequence through 50 times and then get like 10.5 every time.
Okay.
So then let's just say like baseline strategy is you make $525 and then you call that.
Yep.
Versus if I do the 3-turn strategy and get 15.5 every time, I could do that like 33 times. So that looks like that would.
Yeah, again, same issue with like probabilities. Like, it's not the distribution's not going to be that much in your favor. But I mean, who am I to judge? I just butchered a distribution. So, I mean, her strategies. It's not wrong. Like it is a strategy, but eh.
Make me uh, wait, $511. Okay, so that seems a little bit worse than the other strategy.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So then I think now just finding like maybe the strategies look similar to I will take the money for any roll above n and roll again for anything below.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so a matter of finding which one it is. So I guess the number of times I would have to do this roll, I guess we can think about the percent of numbers that I would accept. So let's say if I accept like the fraction x of numbers of the 20, then it would be 1 over x would be the number of 1 over x, and then plus the take the money, so plus 1
Yep.
would be the number of.
Okay, here's the thing. Like, if you're rolling for those high numbers and you're gonna roll until you get those high numbers, you really do it. You really are seeing diminishing returns, right? Um, because you want, let's say it's a 95, you're 95% certainty that you're gonna get the number you want. Um, if you were rolling like, you know, until you got like in the 15 or above, that's 0.75 over ln 0.95. Does that make sense? No, well, it's the same thing, It's like to a certain degree of confidence, you're kind of messing yourself up there, right? Because yeah, you're gonna have to roll, 11 times or 10 times to get like a 95% certainty that you're in that 15 or above range. Um, then again, I mean, it's 95%, like, but yeah, so if you roll and you're like, I need a 15 or above, you're gonna end up rolling like pretty often, right? On average, you're gonna have to roll um, 3 times to get a 15 or above. But to be like 95% certain that you get a 15 or above, you're going to end up rolling 10 times. And then at that point, is it really worth it? We don't really know. But yeah, so if you're rolling every time you get below a 15, on average, you're going to be rolling what? 3 times before you get a 15. 15 divided by 3, it's 5. On average, you're getting 5 points every turn. And then is that really worth it? But let's say from my strategy, which is like we're stopping at approximately 9, right? Every roll is going to be on average, every roll is going to be 10. And then if you're stopping at 9, if you're stopping at 9, your average roll is going to be something that's worth keeping. And is kind of 500, right? And then if you have below a 9, you have an 8, you're going to roll again. So if you have an 8, which is like what, 40, if you have an 8 or below, that's a 40% chance that you're going to get that. And then you roll again, and from that, you know, you have a pretty high chance of getting something that's worth it. So I don't know. It's you know, I'm just rambling right now because I'm not sure the exact math in my head, but you know, it's yeah,
Of turns that
it's
I have
rough.
to use up, and then that means I can play this game through 100 over all of that times.
Yep.
So I'm
Okay.
just gonna simplify that a little bit. So like 100x over 1 plus x would be like the number of times I can play.
Mhm.
Play through the sequence, and then on average, the payout I would get from that would be, let's see. So if I took like the top x, that would be
It's also important to note that if you're stopping, you're not actually rolling 3 times. You know, because after you take it, you roll 3, right? You do your first roll from the 1 to, let's say, a 10. You roll 1 to the 10 to the whatever. You're rolling 4 times, and then you're wasting 5 rounds. So then it's 15 over 5. You're getting 3 per round. So
20 times x, and then averaged with, oh, sorry. I'm averaging 20 with 20 minus 20x. So then in that case, it's just 20 minus 10x would be like the average payout from all of those things.
Mhm.
Cool. Okay. So now it looks like I am going to get a function which I can maximize. So that'd be 1000x times 2 minus x over 1 plus x. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Sounds reasonable. I don't think I'll make you do all the algebra to maximize this, but just
I just did it.
how you would if some mean person made you do it.
Yeah, sure.
What the
I can
hell?
take the derivative, set it equal to 0, do a sanity check to make sure this is like a maximum type thing.
She
and
did use derivatives. I
see
did not
if
use
it is,
derivatives,
I guess,
but
above 525, which is my current best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'll believe that'll work. So I think as it happens, if you do this, you will find that you should actually take anything 6 or higher.
Yeah,
6
that
or
makes sense.
higher. Oh, well, if that's the correct answer, then I'm also wrong. So I did. Mine gives me 8 or higher, or a 9 or higher, but I don't know. Closer enough. Close enough.
I was expecting somewhere between 1 and 10, so yeah.
Yeah, and I guess there's a cute way to see this. So you, I think, calculated that you were going to make about $500 over 100 turns, right? So how much money can you make each turn, roughly?
$5.
So should you spend a turn picking up a 7?
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
And that way you
That's
get to
so
skip
clever.
the algebra.
Oh, okay. Well, I see what he's doing here. This, it's a little cute, but it doesn't take into account that every single time you have to waste another round rolling, right? Or am I misinterpreting it? Do you spend a turn rolling after each time you pick it up, or do you just roll and then you decide? I don't. That maybe that doesn't even affect the equation, but I really a 6 or higher. Did you say for certain that's what it is?
And I guess there's a cute way to see
Type thing and see if it is, I guess, above 525, which is my current best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'll believe that'll work. So I think as it happens, if you do this, you will find that you should actually take anything 6 or higher.
6 or higher. I wonder if he goes into the
That makes
explanation.
sense. I was expecting somewhere between 1 and 10, so yeah.
Yeah, and I guess there's a cute way to see this. So you, I think, calculated that you were going to make about $500 over 100 turns, right? So how much money can you make each turn, roughly?
$5.
So should you spend a turn picking up a 7?
Oh,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense.
And that way you
That's
get to
so
skip
clever.
the algebra.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
Okay, I think I see what it is now, right? It's if the expected value of the increase that you get from re-rolling is greater than 5, then you should be taking it. So I don't think 6 is correct, but I'd feel bad. I'd feel weird like pushing back on the interviewer. But if he is estimating, then I think I'm a little bit more confident with my answer. But if that's for certain, then obviously like shoot, I gotta study up on my math and my applied mathematics. But
On just a one more variant of this question.
Yeah.
So let's go back to the first one where you didn't have to where you got to keep the number on the table between rolls. Well, almost. This time the casino gets to play.
Oh.
Once you take money, the casino gets to choose whether it wants to re-roll the die. And if it wants to, it re-rolls the die. This doesn't cost your turn, but the value of the die changes.
I see.
And the casino's goal is to minimize the amount of money you make.
Reasonable.
Now, this is complicated enough that maybe we can't solve it exactly, but I'm curious to hear like how you think this version will work.
okay. So basically now it's like a game theory kind of thing, right? Where your goal is to maximize and the casino's goal is to minimize. So there is going to be a little bit of a game in this, right? Because over a large amount of time, the casino is just going to keep screwing you over, re-rolling your die and all that. So I think there's going to be some sort of like compromise where you're going to get to there's an equilibrium, right? Where the casinos. So okay, let's say your first roll, you roll 100 or you roll a 15, right? If you roll a 15, now it's the casino's turn. The casino's going to wait. Did he? Oh, I have to go back.
This doesn't cost your the die. Once you take money, the casino gets to choose whether it wants to re-roll the die.
Okay, so the casino gets to choose every time you take money. So that if you roll a 15, the casino's not going to, re-roll your die. But if you take on the 15, the casino's going to re-roll you. So we have to think about what's going to make the casino decide if they want to re-roll you. And effectively, it's going to be any number above 10, they're going to re-roll you, right? Because their chance of getting a number less than 10 is going to be greater than their chance of getting a number greater than 10. That's effectively going to be their strategy. So I think equilibrium, we're going to end up with a 10 on our roll. But the real question is like, what number do you stop rolling at? I don't think we need to math this out because he obviously said we don't need to math this out. But I'm thinking every number greater than 10, definitely keep, because the casino is going to want to take that away from you the next round. And you should just like take what you can get, right? Any number greater or less than 10, yeah, definitely re-roll for that. Because your casino's gonna take it from you. But there has to be some sort of nuance there. All right, let's just say round 1, I roll a 15. Now I have 99 rolls left. Now I have 99 turns left. I can keep the 15 or I can re-roll the 15. I know that 15 isn't going to stay if I keep it. And if I re-roll, then I get a number lower than 15, then I can take that or whatever. Okay, so yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to take every number above 10 and no, we're going to take every number 10 or above. Not every number above 10. Every number 10 or above, we're going to take on. And we're really going to reach an equilibrium because the casino's going to be like, yeah, well, it's an equal chance that we give them a higher number or a lower number when we roll on a 10. So, yeah, since the casino's going to roll every number above 10, we're going to take on every number 10 and above.
And if it wants to, it re-rolls the die. This doesn't cost your turn, but the value of the die changes.
I see.
And the casino's goal is to minimize the amount of money you make.
reasonable.
Now, this is complicated enough that maybe we can't solve it exactly, but I'm curious to hear like how you think this version will work.
I see. Can the casino re-roll once or any number of times until?
They get
Satisfied.
the option to re-roll once every
Okay.
time you take the money.
Okay, cool. And this is back to the first version where I can take the money.
If you take the money and the casino chooses not to re-roll the die, then that number is still available for you to take again next round. If you
Yeah.
take the money and the casino does re-roll the die, then a new number is available for you to take next round if you want.
Okay, right. Makes sense. My first guess about how this would go is if I play with strategy, I will accept anything above N or higher. Casino has a strategy like I want to re-roll for any like X or lower.
Yep.
We will have, perhaps at some point there will be some number.
Well, the casino's gonna re-roll at a number X or higher, right? They don't care if the number's lower. But I think she just misspoke.
Say like 10, in which case I just accept the 10. Casino just also accepts the 10, and then we just continue. That's like the equilibrium position. But yeah.
That sounds good. Do you have a guess of roughly where this number will end up being?
Let me think. Well, if I play the 18 or higher strategy, casino's certainly gonna re-roll me on that because that's me maximizing for myself.
Right. So let's say you roll a 19, you take it, the casino re-rolls.
Yeah.
Now what happens?
Casino re-rolls, and now I think, darn, my strategy's been foiled. I don't get to keep the 19, so.
Yep.
I would probably just have to accept a lower number. Like, then my strategy might become, I will accept 15 or higher, and casino sees the 15, thinks, I re-roll, the expectation is like a 10.5, so I should definitely re-roll that. Yeah, so I would guess, like, yeah.
So here's the thing, actually, right? Because the casino, it's going to be a little bit more complicated than what I initially said. Because if the casino rolls a number that's higher than the amount they already gave, and it's like higher than our barrier, our minimum. If it's higher than our minimum, then we get a free take, right? And they're going to obviously be adverse to that. But I think that's going to affect their minimization problem. Because really what they want is the lowest number possible. And if they accidentally give a higher number, then they actually take away a turn from it, or they give us another turn. Or maybe it doesn't. Let's just say it doesn't change. This is too much thinking. We're over an hour.
10 or 11, something there where we both don't have like too much incentive to re-roll and try.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I believe the answer should be down near 10-ish. Okay. So you're saying you'll play the strategy of take money on 10 or higher, 11 or higher.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But give me something to be concrete.
Yeah, sure. 10.
10 or higher. Okay. And so what do you think the casino's going to do?
Well, if it still sees like a 15 or something, it will also re-roll for me.
Okay.
And bring me down for the next time. I guess if it lands on a 10, the casino may just let me keep it because 10 is lower than the expected value of their next roll.
10 is the expected value of their next roll.
So why don't we imagine playing this out and see how it would go? Like, see how much money you'll make. So just to be concrete, you're playing the strategy of take money when it's 10 or higher, and the casino is playing the strategy of re-roll 11s or higher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh. That was my exact plan. I think I might be wrong that if they came to my exact plan that easy, I think I might be wrong. And he's also like pushing back, so I think we need to take a look at this. Let's map this out. Let's do another. Let's copy and paste this. Actually, we're gonna take the code from this one. JStreet copy. So I do think the casino is going to roll 11 or higher. And then so if D is greater than 10, they're gonna re-roll it, right? They're gonna re-roll it once, and then we have another choice. But I still think our EV formula is no, it's not the same. EV equals. I don't even think we need an EV. Let's just get rid of the EV and say like if D is greater than or equal to 10. Or is this less than or equal to 10? Is less than 10. Yeah. $9.56, $9.56, $9.55. Okay, so we're getting around $9.56 average. And if we change, because I'm 90% certain on this that the casino's not going to roll anything that's 10 or lower, because they don't. What's their EV? Their EV is, you know. But let's say if we're less than 13, we're gonna roll, right? Yeah, we're losing a considerable amount. So, oh, but if we have like a 9, do we really want to roll again? That's the question. 931. What was it at 10? No, okay, yeah, I think it does math out. I think it does math out, this plan.
So how much money can we see you'll make in this game?
Sorry, can the casino make this game?
Oh, sorry. How much money will you make in this game?
Oh,
Like if people play these strategies.
oh, gotcha. Let's see. So if I roll say like it's around half chance that, yeah, it might be easier to think about. Let's say like casino and I both just have the same strategy of like 11 or higher.
Sure.
Like we do our move.
So you and them both agree that 11s and higher are good for you, and so you want them, and they want to reroll them. Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep. So this seems like an oscillation between like if I roll a 10 or lower half the time, then the casino will just will not want to
Yeah,
reroll
11
me.
is you got to keep the
Versus
10s.
if I roll an 11 or higher, the casino will immediately reroll the one after.
Sorry, just to clarify, the casino only has the option to reroll once you take the money. They don't just get to reroll every turn.
Oh, okay, yeah, gotcha.
Yep. No, keep going.
So if I say like 11 or higher and I decide to keep it, then the casino will reroll me on it.
Okay.
So, in that case, yeah, so like, let's say the situation ends up with me making like $15.5 and then casino re-rolling. So then after that, I kind of start from scratch. So like every 2 rolls, I fill my criteria of 11 or higher. So then I get to play like 50 times this sequence of events and get like 155 from those. So then I guess I expect to get like $775 playing this strategy.
Okay. Yep, that sounds pretty good. Okay, so how much money are you making per roll here?
In that case, I'm making like $7-8. So
yeah.
In that case, maybe that means I should change my threshold.
What do you want to do with it?
Let's see. Okay, so if that's 7-8 per roll, then if I get an 8, I should think, not bad, and maybe just take the money.
Yeah, very possible.
Yeah.
Why don't we just calculate how that one goes and see if it's better?
Yeah, so that seems.
I don't know what game they're playing over there, but okay. So I think the problem exists in like figuring out where the casino is going to stop, because if the casino decides that they want to set their roll at anything greater than an 8, then you kind of get screwed over if you're playing 10 and above, right? Because let's say casino casino's rolling anything over an 8, and you're playing 10 and above, you're gonna average $800. But if the casino was playing 10, then you'd be making 900. You know. So I think there's a formula both we and the casino are using now for this. Well, this is assuming that the casino's smart, but we're going to assume the casino's smart because they have a lot of resources. They hire the best guys. They hire Jane Street quants who don't like the work hours and want to live in Las Vegas. So the casino has their own EV, and that's going to be. So let's put in an EV formula. Oh my God. I just want to get back to my EV. Okay, yes. All right. If if that is greater than 0, we roll, and if this, oh shoot, if this is less than 0, they roll. So if our EV formula is greater than 0, we roll. If their EV formula is greater than 0, they roll. Or less than 0, they roll. Okay. So d over 20 times d. I still think this is correct. This is the opportunity cost. Mm. Hmm. What their goal is to minimize the amount of money we get. So let's say we had a 15. Um, so 25 divided by 40. 0.625 times 98, 61. Well, they wouldn't have that kind of EV formula, would they? They'd have a different EV formula. Because their game is different, right? They're not taking money. They're just messing with us. So they want to figure out how bad they can screw us over. I don't know. I think the 10 is a good assumption.
Reasonable. Okay, so.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. 3 over 13 is like the.
+1 it gives you a random starting
right, yeah,
number.
okay, they gave me that one. Okay, sounds good. Cool. So then, which is. Wait. Wait, sorry. So there's 100 rounds. I should increment.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the answer is probably somewhere in between the two.
Yep. In case I should increment by.
Yeah, I think I won't make you iterate this anymore. But yeah, the answer is probably somewhere in between the two.
Yep.
In between the two
case,
what?
I should increment by $10. That is more than before.
Yeah.
I play it. Yeah, $910. That is more than before.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. In that case, I should increment by.
Yeah, I think I won't make you iterate this anymore. But yeah, the answer is probably somewhere in between the two.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's really good. I think we'll stop the interview here. Of course, in a real interview, there might be more questions, or I would stop at the end and ask Andrea whether she has any questions for me about Jane Street or the internship, or she might be applying for, or anything else. But for now, that's good.
All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So, for the benefit of the people watching this video, let's talk about how we think that went. First of all, Andrea, I think you did really well at that question.
Thanks, Graham. I'm still kicking myself over a few things, but overall, I agree. I think that went pretty well.
And
was it your lack of use of the binomial distribution function?
In fairness, you are already a trader here, so I'd expect you to do well. Not just because you're smart, obviously, but also because of how much experience you have working on problems like this one. So, if you're watching this video, and you feel like you wouldn't necessarily have been able to get as far as Andrea did, or make progress as fast, don't be discouraged by that. So, anyway, it initially took us a minute or two to really get on the same page about what question I was asking. That's totally fine. It can take a while to wrap your head around a new problem, and it was really good that Andrea kept clarifying until she understood what I was asking.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure how much to push there, but I figured it would have been really sad if I did a bunch of work on a question that turned out to be the wrong question.
Yeah, that would have been unfortunate. I think it was pretty.
Yeah, thankfully she did a little bit of work on the wrong answer to the question, and he had to step in and clarify. It was like part one, right? Yeah.
Right. And that leads me to communication more generally. I thought you did a great job of talking me through your thought process. Sometimes that just convinced me that you knew what you were talking about, and other times it helped me know when to give you a hint. Or
Yeah. That is a very important thing for these kinds of interviews, quantitative interviews especially. I'd like if you've ever seen like a consulting interview, like very important thing is to communicate openly with the interviewer because really they're looking to see your thought process and it's more of a collaborative thing, right? Because if you're messing up at any point, you want to be communicating thoroughly and clearly. That way, your interviewer they see that they can steer you in the right direction. But really, they really do want to see how you think, right?
or correct a misconception. We recognize that it can be hard to think and talk at the same time, and we really don't expect candidates to talk just quite as much as you did. But I think you demonstrated why we do find it important to think out loud.
Yeah, this is some advice I remember getting from my interviewers back when I was going through the process myself. They encouraged me to think out loud, and it was really helpful. Of course, it feels a lot more natural now that I've been working here for a bit. I spend a lot of my day thinking out loud. But I remember having to be pretty conscious about it when I was interviewing.
And onto the quantitative aspects of the question, I thought you did a good job of thinking about the problem and breaking it down into smaller and more solvable pieces. I liked how sometimes you would work through a strategy to see what happened, or if it would spur any better ideas to work on, even if it wasn't necessarily going to be the best strategy overall. We find that these are helpful problem solving techniques, and in general, this process of iterative and collaborative problem solving does better replicate what having a conversation on a trading desk here at Jane Street might look like. And when I did give you hints, you were really able to take them and run with them.
Yeah, those are much appreciated. Well, thanks, Graham. This was super fun to work on. It reminds me of my own Jane Street interviews back in the day, which were also tons of fun. To be honest, I was quite nervous leading up to them. They were some of the first interviews I had ever done. But my interviewers really put me at ease and made the process feel more like an exciting discussion than an interview.
Great. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video, and best of luck with your interviews.
Okay. In conclusion, what did we learn? Nothing because they didn't give us the correct answer. But I think first question definitely on the right track. Second question definitely on the right track. Third question, it's game theory, and there are layers to like interpretation because if the casino has its own strategy, that if casino knows your strategy, they can adapt to that and they can screw you over. It's basically what we're seeing. So there is no optimal strategy, but there's a ballpark, right? And ballpark, 10 and above is what you want to keep. Is my understanding. Of course, that might be wrong. There might be some magic formula that beats all casino strategies, but um, yeah, yeah, pretty cool challenge. I'm glad I wasted an hour and a half instead of doing homework that I really should be doing. But anyways, yeah, moral hazard Wednesday. 4 p.m. wmuc.umd.edu. We're on the digital side, not the FM, unfortunately, but that allows us to curse on air sometimes. Yeah, and I hope you guys found this enlightening. You know, maybe I can't do math. All right, well, bye bye. How do I turn this off?